Well, good evening. Ira Epstein with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening of Tuesday, and we're at the 7th of June, 2022. It feels in Chicago more like it's April. We're in the 60s, and it's chilly, no question about it. Just a strange day, but we'll get warm over the next week back into the 80s and 90s. But the market's been chilly. Have you noticed? You start off one way, during the day you go another way, and we're really not going anywhere. We're sort of going sideways for a bit. Had some of you write me, hey, is this really a bear market? Well, I think it is. And the reason is how many stocks are down versus up since the beginning of the year. Indices have certainly fallen into that 20% area. Do they have to go beyond 20? No, they just have to get a good size break. And I don't know who wrote 20%. It always has to be that. Could be 30%. I don't know. I don't care. I care that the market's in overall downtrends, not uptrends. They don't act like they're over, and the fundamentals behind it have not turned. What you are reading, because I read all day long, is how many stories now, be it fertilizer, freight shipping, and so on. Prices look as though they've peaked and products are accumulating. You saw it in Target when they came out, and they got annihilated today as their stock fell because their inventory is too big, combined with people changing their spending because of being summer to services away from goods. I mean, it's natural, and they got caught up, I think, in the supply chain issue, and that happens. But they'll work themselves out of it. Everybody's caught in that. It's very difficult. All right, you order the TVs, they don't come in for months, then they magically show up. What do? You were counting on them for Super Bowl, now they come in later. You know what I'm getting at. This is what the whole world is going through as this goes on. Now, as we take a look at Apple, Apple today made a statement. You had an outside day back to the upside. If you don't take out today's high in the next 2 days, which I don't expect it to, I'm looking for the market to try to advance off that. How much? Well, that becomes the interesting question. Are we trending? No. What you did is you made a lower low and a higher high. That's not a bullish pattern. Next, where's the market finding its support? The 18-day average of closes. Write yourself a note and call it the line in the sand, because that's exactly what it is. Where's the resistance? Well, in moving averages, it's here. Now, something else is pretty interesting. We did have, and I think you realize that, a bearish crossover. And that happened right here. The blue is the 50-day moving average. The gray is the 200. They crossed right through here. Normally, you get lower prices off of that. The market rallied. The market dropped. It made a lower low than 144.46, but I don't think that's what traders look for on a bearish cross. Death cross. No, you look for more than that. So it's going to be interesting. If the market takes out this high, you're going to have some of the chartists say, aha, didn't work. What does that mean? Because you don't want to take out the most recent high if you think that that's what's at work. Got my newest toy. I'm learning how to work with it, so please bear with me. It's not natural. You've got to learn these new ones. It's not the same brand. It does a few things different. Bollinger Band, well, if you're going to rally, why not go towards that number? That is at 153.10, and that would then be violating this last rally high, so I don't know what the bearish cross would do at that point in time. And in momentum, you're overbought. This is a difficult chart. Number one, let's review. You're not in a trend. You have a higher high and a lower low. You're overbought in the market. The market is holding the 18-day average, and you had a bearish cross, and that's still at work at this point in time. AMC, I'm reading tonight, the short sellers are reappearing. I hope they're not reappearing here in AMC. First off, Ira said this is the good spot to be coming out of the market going into the summer months. Why? That's when the revenue comes into the movie theaters. It doesn't come in September. It comes now. And each week you're there and you're counting, please have them buy the concessions, have them buy the concessions. Because on blockbuster movies, at least when I owned the movie theater, Big blockbusters, you're lucky if you get 25, 30% of the ticket price. Lucky. And they can dictate how long you got to keep it and how many theaters. Now, a lot of that's changed today, and the reason it's changed is because we get first-run releases on cable as well. But the overall game hasn't changed. There's a split. It leans to the movie companies in the first 2 weeks or so, and you're praying people buy what? You're praying that they buy concessions. That's the profit center in a movie theater. Or they're drinking today. That's a big profit center. Food, whatever it's going to be. So I have a hard time wanting to get over bearish right here. I'm not agreeing with what I'm reading. I think the market can get more of a bounce just because of the nature of the business. AMD, not looking pretty. You know, all the talk now is, hey, the chip makers, there's going to eventually be 5 plants built in America. Well, the land was bought for them, but I only see 1 being built. So we're not quite there yet. You read things, governments like to talk, look at what we're doing and all this. Break the ground, tell me the plant's going up, we'll have it in a year. I'm a believer then. Don't buy land and tell me that you're building a chip factory, because you're not. You bought land. There's a very big difference. I know what your intent is, but you haven't begun construction. Higher high, lower low, a lot of fighting here. Market, well, is it embedded? So let's go to our way of figuring that out. Both numbers over 80. Agreed? Both over 80 yesterday, and what about the day before? Aha! We have an embedded reading. So what will the pros do with an embedded reading? They'll be buying these breaks. That's what I was telling my paid subscribers this morning. Looking for the 100-day average is the resistance. That's what they're doing, in my opinion. And they'll bail if you get a 79 reading or less in the slow stochastics. In Disney, still dropping down. So is this due to the problems Disney is having in Florida? I don't know. Why isn't this picking up more? They're going to have some good movies coming out. It's a bit strange to me. In XLF, the financial service sector, nah. Overbought. I don't see it's not embedded. It's not doing anything. I think this is a market where the professional money got out here, and they haven't done a thing since that point in time. In XLI, you took off today. Now, the other thing with XLI, let's take a look, is it got an embedded reading. So we come in here, look at these numbers. Okay, both numbers are not over 80. Both over 80 on Friday. Both over 80 on Monday. Tuesday, both over 80. So what do I think the pros are going to do? I think as long as you don't take out today's high of 97.34 on pullbacks, they're going to buy the market. They'll bail if you get a reading under 79, and they'll pop out against the upper Bollinger Band. Again, you hit that objective today. You got as high as 97.34. Let's see, 97.34 was the high. The Bollinger Band is 97.66. So you're trying to get up there very quickly. We'll see if it can do it. But I'm in the bull camp on this. In XSD, the semiconductor ETF, all right, different than the AMD and the like. No, you're overbought. I don't see a darn thing. There's nothing there on that chart that's of interest. And by the way, it's not only embedded. It comes down when you're looking at some of these charts, and I can take you back there. The trend is down. You're over the 18-day average. There's just nothing to do in the chart. In XHB, well, it's trying to embed. And embedded charts, to me, are very interesting. If this market embeds, let's go here and see what it did. This is Friday. Both numbers over 80. I think you'd agree with that. We get to yesterday, both over 80, and today. So what is Ira's camp going to do in the morning? If the market doesn't take out today's high, I'll be telling my traders, I'll give them a specific number where I want them to buy. One of the things I do, I let the first 30 minutes of the market go by me. You're going to ask why. Because that's where all the fund money and the algo money from people overnight placing their orders, doing whatever they're doing. That's when, if you're not trading the secondary, the third markets that trade around the clock, you're going to the exchanges. No. Let the money come in, then you make your move. I've learned that over so many years, and it's done me very well. The energy sector, I'm still bullish. I'm looking for the Bollinger Band again. Hit it. I think you take money off the table and you wait for the next break to come in again. In gold, we're down to a key number. The trend is up. I think traders are nibbling on the long side with such tight stops. 171.64. You hit that, I don't see anything bullish then. I can make an argument to get down here, if anything. So this is where it must hold. And then the upper Bollinger Band at 172.94, first target, possibility right there. Will it do it? That's the big question. It's been a market in gold that has disappointed more times than not this year. GDX, same thing. If gold's good, well, maybe you're going to be good here. 2 resistance points, the 200-day average in this light gray, and then the Bollinger Band. So you've got 33.19 to 33.59. Those are your resistance points. The trend is up. Is the market a buy? Well, it's not 70 readings. It's not embedded either. So it's okay. Am I nuts about it? I'll keep my hands in my pocket. Copper. You know how bullish I am in copper. I've told you I think copper's a $5 plus metal. And you can see it's fighting now a battle of will at the 100-day average of closes. If it can pop through this, then I think it gets to the 42.65 embedded reading. I think the pros just keep buying. This is a better buy and have been an easier chart than the copper futures, friends. This is the one that has been more fun. In AGG, okay, do you really want to touch anything in BND, TLT, AGG in front of the next week Fed meeting? You can. I don't want to. So I'll pass on those. Dollar index. What do you do the first time you hit an 18-day average of closes? That's your resistance point. So you've had a contra-trend rally where the market rallied off the Bollinger Band into that number. You had an embedded reading that lost its way. Right here, I can take you to this. There's your reading. If you lose your way and you get a reading over 21, you want to be out of your shorts. Watch. This is where you're coming out. Now you're looking for the 18-day average of closes. That's often where the market goes. Not always. Often. Very often. And that's where the market runs out of that extra little bit of fuel that it had to carry itself wherever the heck it was going. And if the dollar's up, then FXE is down to a degree, but it's still embedded. So this market, I think, is getting bought as the dollar rallied with the anticipation it's going to go up and the dollar's going to go down. We'll see if that, in fact, is the case, but it's going to be very interesting in the markets as I see them. Now, one of the most interesting things that we do is we try to give you market information. And on that market information, the way that we do it is all kinds of different data. And the data that we put out, well, that's what makes these things work one way or the other. And what do I mean work? At Linn, we're writing about all the different markets, be it freight, be it the oil prices, be it what the stock indices are doing, interest rates, we're covering them. But we're doing them from the commodity perspective. And frankly, that's what you have going on today in the stock market. You have a commodity perspective that you have to pay very strong attention to because that's where the inflation story's been. Oil, how much is that of the inflation today? It hasn't changed. Even Goldman Sachs today, Jeff Curry coming out, 140 oil in the third quarter. So that gives you an idea of the type of talk. We talk about that. We lead you into it. So if you haven't tried our information, what an opportune time. Go to our website. Under free offer, it's right there. You can also follow my finger with your cursor, take it up to the top right there, give it a click when you see it. You'll be in the free offers. Take advantage. One last thing. Hit the subscribe button here. It's free. Every time I put out these updates, you'll get notice right away. I'm Ira. You have a good day.